Oh, whoa, it's your boy. Now this one is a little bit more unique than the last one I just showed you. In this game, we had a team member accidentally lock in a Janna pick. And later on in the game, the team got very, very chatty and got very, very toxic at me for calling out something that needed to happen. But here's how we started out this game here. Kog'Maw was very, very, very antsy about his pick because he didn't want to get killed. And because of the way that we chose to play this, instead of trying to do a front invade, I called him to do a challenger style play, which is a side invade. We walk all the way around the side because they're just all be sitting in this position looking to try and CC whoever walks up. So we evade the vision, come off to the side, leading confident. I step backwards so that Pyke can take the lead. We ward out every position that we're passing by. I end up leveling my ability late here. Kayn decided to Q back into them. He just confidently just died here. Then we walk out the Ahri. Push them away. Get a free kill on the juggler. Pyke tried to go for the Q to try and pull her out. Wouldn't matter anyways because we don't have the kind of DPS to secure that. Unfortunately because we have Janna mid. And from here we start with our E max. Or rather we start with an E take first. And we go into a poke lane versus Heimerdinger. Here is one of the many opportunities and one of the many matchups, as there are many of these, where Yorick just outright dominates because of the fact that he's not going to get punished for the crime of not doing what most people would expect. I'm sitting here expecting him to come out of one of the rushes, and expect him to be all the way behind his tower, and he just starts setting directly into the turret push. You should not ever let this discourage you. Because of the fact that you start E, it allows you to try and get every single minion you possibly can by just auto-attacking. I take the harass there because he can't harass me much with his auto-attacks alone to secure my first 3 minions, which is very, very important. Can't cap me off the experience either. So, we keep the push going in. He gets his level 2. I just patiently wait to get my level 2. Let him push me in because it doesn't matter. Pull the minions off to the side. This is a very important technique. So that they don't all collect in front of the tower so he can't just freely harass me whenever he wants. And we start working on getting our Graves. Because with Graves, we are actually able to fight back against poke range bullshit. So now, we're dead set into the lane situation. I have 3 Graves, and he's just looking to poke at range. I got 3 of them. They gap his fucking health. In this situation, the use of that there is honestly more for just not just the poke damage, but also for getting him scared. Unfortunately, I noobishly fail to get the grave, but I do get the health off, which is important. You have to keep your health up high in this kind of situation. Because if you allow yourself to get poked down, you're not going to be able to survive against Heimerdinger when it comes time for him to bring out his mega turret. So, I'm losing my health. Use my my potion. Try to get as much ES as I can and slowly walk the waves in. Here in this situation, I learned something I didn't know, which is that turrets will not give you a grave. I find that bullshit, but hey, it's whatever. Heimerdinger still doing his thing. I'm still stacking up my graves, because without graves I cannot fight him. I end up walking into that stun. Use the dust to get that CS, because I don't want to get harassed again. Let it walk back into the tower. Vi ends up walking into Kayn here, because Kayn was looking for the 2v1, but instead ended up walking to a 2v2. This allows me to get the pressure to be able to get my last grave up through auto-attacking, and I just get my health up here in this situation. Vi's still looking for the opportunity to fuck with him, and we just take this chance, throw out that. Now with this on here, this is where Vi goes to try and look for it. She ends up getting the flash Q, but she's not able to follow it up quickly, and she's getting attacked by all 3 turrets. I recognize that he misplayed this. Get the wall up, auto attack, Q, man's put away. Had to ghost there just to be able to close the distance, because without it I wouldn't have been able to actually get the E to then get the W. I call out his flash and his ignite. Slowly push the wave back in. Can't actually go for anything here because I don't want to take the risk with there being Kayn. Didn't know he was bottom side, but it's good ethics to do fucking anyways. And because if I had walked up to the tower and he had caught me trying to get that last plate, it would have been very, very detrimental for me, even if I was able to get the Demolish proc off. Doesn't matter, because I'm still going to be able to do it anyways, because I'm Yorick. Walk back to the lane. Walk up to the lane. He has a book. I have a phage. He has a commencing stopwatch that he's not going to get the chance to use here. And slowly just start stacking the waves up. Sticking with the dust. We gap his experience by a lot here. He just took. I don't know, pause so you can look. On this play here, he already had health damage from trying to hold the minion wave. So, I get these stacked up here. I hit that dust. 49, 37, 37, 12. All that damage just went into his fucking head. And he didn't have a reaction for it. No players really ever do know what to do with this. So now, he is super scared. Super duper scared. I'm just stacking things up again. Letting the minions take the aggro for the towers first. Getting rid of them so we can slowly push my way in. Because if I want to be able to kill Heimerdinger, I'm going to have to hit the dust first. And let the minions lead before I can do anything else. He's still playing back in this situation. In this situation, I'll just start slow pushing. Try to throw out the dust. Miss this one. Because now he's playing Pussyfoot. He starts setting up his towers again. Just slowly pushing in, letting him waste all of his mana. Get that dust. Get 3, baby! Walk in. Auto attack Q. He hits me with the stun, but it doesn't matter because I live. Because he decided to not press his ignite, rather. Get the maiden up. Start getting my health back. I look at the map and I see that they're all the way down here with his 4-man dive chase. That doesn't make any goddamn sense for Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw walks in on the Ahri. We end up being able to survive the situation, and they end up surviving that. Ahri is in the river looking for honey fruit to walk back to lane. I thought she was coming for me, so instead of going for that next plate, I decided to back off. And we back, and we buy. Now we buy a pickaxe. I start teleporting for this play here. Take out the Taric. Or sums out of both of them. Kill both. Immediately start backing. Extremely big. Take that. Get back to the lane. And I start telling them, hey, go towards the Rift Arrow. It's time to take it. Heimerdinger starts pushing into my tower. I tell her the path that she needs to take to be able to gank around him. I outplay all his shit. That's most of his spells down. Vi walks it in. He drops the turret because he has nothing else. Burn his flash. Kayn backs off. And now in this situation, Kayn decides that he wants to try and stay around to look for an opportunity to try and counter whatever happens here. I end up walking in first, getting the ward down, and pushing him away. This allows Vi to be able to get the Scuttle Crab. And now I have to sit and hold this position because unfortunately my team does not understand how desperately bad Kayn wants to try and fuck with them topside here. I end up getting a very nice dust here, pushing Heimerdinger into his tower. I end up losing a lot of health on my maiden to his turrets. Do the same play again, walk the shit in, kill the man with a jump. Now I start beating the shit out of his tower. I repeat again the play for us to go for the Herald, because unfortunately Kayn now killing Vi means that it's going to open it up. Kayn's starting to try and back. We keep the vision up, and then I decide to start it myself, between myself and Janna. Because since he's already backing, he's not going to be able to stop this. Heimerdinger is going to be too worried about getting his gold for him to do anything possible about this. And notice that his stopwatch still has not commenced, because I'm not giving him a chance to be able to do anything here. Remove the vision. So now, I could slow push if I want to, but unfortunately I'm Yorick with my maiden out, so I can't slow push. Push the wave in. See how much I can get out of him again. Looking for the dust. I tried to look to get onto the tower to try and take it here because of how low it is, but I end up just getting his ultimate first, so it's whatever. It's a spell he just used. Back up. Now I have the cooldown. Now he can't do it again. Looked for a dust, couldn't find the dust. Walk up to the tower, auto attack it. Take the tower, back off. This man is 0-3. I am 4-0-1. I walk through here because I see that they're mid. I don't want this experience to just be left here for Kane to be able to take. So I'm just going to take it myself, get big. Take the red, start backing.
Turret plating will soon fall.
Don't know why it's not allowing me to pilot camera. So, come back in. Hullbreaker by, Sheen by, Kindle Gem. Getting our ability haste online. Mercury Treads for the CC effects that I'm going to have to deal with. Ari Charm, Varus Ultimate, Taric Stuns. None of it's fun. I'm back through here. Taric decides he wants to fuck with my pink. I say, sir, no ma'am. Start walking down the river since I've already pushed my wave in. Get the Ari out of position. Walk the Taric out. I could have been able to use his Hex Tech Gate to cut him off, but I didn't want to do that. Didn't want to walk in vision, but he ends up taking a bad path. Cut him off. Another kill for me. Kane comes in trying to walk it in. Walk it out. Another kill for me. Delayed triple. Now I'm 7-0-1. Start building the rest of my shit. Slowly force the 3-man rotation to the top side so they can try to do something in mid. And this is where the game starts to stall out. My team does not know what to do here. So they decide it's time to all random all middle. They get hit by a big charm from Ari. Ari's dashing around them. They put themselves in the position to get picked. And they slowly get picked. This is a nightmare scenario for us when we have all the shutdown gold and all the shit we need to do. We could have gone to the bottom lane. We could have been able to try to force something towards the rotation of our top side jungler who's winning and our top side carry who's winning. We could be able to push out the waves and just wave clear and back off. Force rotations here because unfortunately they have a ward in a jungle. All of these plays did not need to happen here. There was no reason there to be a fight mid. He gets the trade kills, which makes it okay. So now Kargmar is 13-4-2. I come in to just hold the wave. And now they're beginning to realize how terrifying I am. And I start calling out the fact that Rift Herald and Hextech Drake are spawning at the exact same time. Pike comes in to try and get the Ari. He gets charmed. He dies. Vi's able to try and get on top of the Kane, but unfortunately does not catch him. They get poked out by Varus. All this shit's happening. I'm topside. Just pushing things. Just doing Yorick things. Because unfortunately, I have to play around the objectives that we have available to us. If I'm topside, we can do a cross-map play where we try to take both at the same time. They are getting pushed off by the 3-man rotation. I allow Kog'Maw to take it because I don't actually need it. I start telling them that we don't need to make these plays here because this shit's not helping. They're spending a lot more time typing and trying to argue back and forth with what play should happen than just listening. And now I slowly start picking their team apart. And I want to play this back in slow motion because this play is very, 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 very important. This play is so important. So, one objective has been taken. They no longer have topside pressure. I'm going to allow this wave to crash into me. It won't crash because there's fewer minions, but I will allow this wave to come to me so I can collect it later. But because they are now getting killed in mid, we now have 5 people pushing towards our tower with objective bounties up. This is a nightmare scenario of a lot of gold to be switched back towards the enemy team. So I must roam in here, and I must kill him. Fuck up his attack. He throws out his ultimate. Varus gets walked down. For some reason, Heimerdinger throws out his spells as though it was going to actually do something. Varus is now forced to back away. I just walk up and I'll attack Taric through his ultimate and kill him before it pops. And now I walk Varus down. That's 3 targets removed while the rest of my team works on the last ones. Because while I'm killing those 3, Ari's over here getting attacked by Janna and by Vi. They're distracted trying to protect their team from dying. So, Vi just takes the opportunity on the most easy target. She ends up getting charged to her face. But she still just goes through anyway. She's unstoppable. Gets on top of her. Gets that last auto attack with her empowered E before she dies. Janna uses her ultimate, but she's still being hit by the turret. We're able to get that kill. We have now done a trade of 4 for 4, but the biggest person who is now carrying with that gold is me. I have not died yet, so now I have this massive shutdown that they can't do anything about. In this situation, Heimerdinger realizes that I'm looking for him. So he decides either he's going to run away or I'm going to fight him. He decides not to go for the fight because he knows he's not going to survive it. And he just starts backing on vision. He sees me coming through the lane. I get my next level up. He starts running away. I don't know generally where he is. I just assume that he's somewhere in the distance, close enough for me to be able to chase. And by the sheer threat of him knowing what I can do, I come over with my maiden, and I just start doing the dragon in the face. Because I'm challenging him at this point. Drop ward over the wall. Heimerdinger sits here. Instead of doing it in the pit, big important detail, drag the dragon away. So now it's out of range of a Heimerdinger take, and it's also going to require that much more distance for Kayn to try and cross through the wall, because unfortunately, this Kayn decided to go for Gore Drinker, and not for any other ability. Because I have the position to control this, we get the teleport in from my laner, from my Janna, and with Kog'Maw coming up behind me, we're able to take this. I salvaged a bad situation from the misplay from my team from not being patient. They didn't spend a lot of time here. In the case of the Kayn was claiming, or not the Kayn, the Pyke. The Pyke was claiming, we're not taking advantage of any opportunities that we have. But there is no opportunities and there is no advantage. Remember that both objectives spawned at the exact same time. And we took each objective. Now, it is about us controlling and not bleeding out gold. So, I back. They're going for split plays here. I just come in, and I start taking their objectives. We can see where they are. I walk over to start taking jungle farm. Meanwhile, in this rotation, we have a 4-man hover. They can't decide whether they want to go top or mid. Or, bot or mid. Because they're stuck up without vision and they don't have anything to see the approach, they get attacked by the Kayn, which is the nightmare scenario that I told them about. And at this point, I think I muted them and I just said, nope, I'm not going to explain this shit to you. You're going to listen and you're going to play, you're going to lose. I then go right back to what I was already doing. There are 4 people mid. We have 1 dead. They have 1 dead. I'm walking over and I'm taking the tower. Taric and Heimerdinger cannot actually threaten me here, but I'm going to respect the pressure because the rotation that could come in over the wall is what I fear here. And by making them come topside, they're not going to be able to defend the push in the mid lane. So now we have 2 open inhibitors, and we have an open Baron that can't not be taken because they're going to be too busy trying to ward for the approach. Come over confidently, take the Baron as a team. I walk over to look for objective opportunities. She looks over to look for wards. I start walking down to the bottom side because now we need to pressure the map in other positions. We need to deal with this tower. And just keep them on the back foot and never allow them to have an opportunity to technically leave the map. This is the goal of what's supposed to happen here. We ward the approach, we take all the gold on the map, and we just do not allow them to have anything to do. Unfortunately, they let the mid lane push in here. I looked to try and kill both of these 2, but unfortunately they had everything up. But with Kog'Maw with me, because Kog'Maw, if you go back here, Kog'Maw was over here by himself, basically face-checking into multiple people. Kayn was expecting him to walk this way, so instead he walks behind to me, and I just slowly start pushing this in here while we start taking shit. Because he chose to make that positioning, Kayn gets disinterested and starts walking towards mid here, which is the bad play for him to take, because now they're not in a position to stop this from happening. Even though I don't get the kills that I wanted on him, I get Heimerdinger low, and through Kog'Maw's damage, Kog'Maw gets him low. Now, walk them in. Somehow he dodges that. And we just take this tower. Now with my team, we're playing on the top side, and they are looking for the top lane objective. Kayn is inside of Vi. They get the Kayn kill here. And they also have the inhibitor here. We take the inhibitor here. I walk over. allowing this chaos and just plain ass ignoring it. Because whatever fight they're doing does not make fucking sense, because we don't need to fight. We just need to take them. Now they're triple gated. They still have their inhibitor towers, however. Or Nexus towers. So, with the Baron take, I just go back to the top side jungle. Take all the gold as possible. And now we wait. Let the waves catch up. Let the waves push in. Let them start suffering. And I then make my opportunity to try and push them towards the top side. To brace them away from the dragon. Kayn now tries to look for a chance to go fight for the dragon. But because he's out of position, he gets picked. Walking back into the lane now that we've killed him. And now they are freely able to take it however they want. Pyke and I are basically standing here as an open distraction. Because they're not gonna think about the dragon. They're gonna think about the people in front of them. I simply want these minions to get pushed in. Because between the mid lane and the top lane, those minions are going to be the ones that they are going to want to try to push back against. And I don't want them to be able to push back against the bottom lane minions. So now, with this, I just stand with Kog'Maw. And I physically use my body to protect him. I'm trying to get him to stand on the line of attrition. Because here, I don't want to pull up my epic pin for this. Here, where I am, is the front of the fight. The line of the fight that I am walking on is where he is allowed to stand. Slow it down to 0.5. This line of attrition here, from these inhibitor towers, and the inhibitors, and the Sextech Gate, this area right here, is the line of attrition. All Kog'Maw needs to do is dodge Ahri's abilities, and play on the edge of combat, where he has protection. Because of this, he is stunned, he burns a slash. Wait, target ultimate out with my W. Beat on Tarek's head, get him low, use my E, let Kog'Maw clean it up. And with this disengage that we have, this beautiful, wonderful disengage from Morgana, and the ability to heal Kog'Maw back up so he can be able to finish the job now that we've gotten rid of the two problems for him to deal with. He's able to close out the game. Because in this composition, Yorick, Vi, and Kog'Maw are the consistency of the catch of how this works. We have three front lines. Myself, the jungle, technically the mid laner, but she's a floater, and Kayn. Or excuse me, Pyke. Pyke's DPS allows us to be able to control an area. If I could be able to bring up the area of effect of Eulogy of the Isles and Morning Mist, it creates a very big circle around ourselves. About a couple of units smaller than the Janna circle. Using the Janna ultimate as the range indicator here, so you can visibly understand. Let's get to that point. Okay, so using the Janna ultimate's range here, seeing from here to here, this is the range of our control of combat. Because we have a bunch of disengage, and two people who are good for chase down, and for picking, and our third person, who would lead plays for the ability to do big team fight executions, is dead. Our goal is to control this area of effect, and allow Kog'Maw to do his fucking job. As long as Kog'Maw can do his job, this game is shut out, because they will not be able to get on top of my backline. Kayn cannot get through unless he starts diving through, and if Kayn dives through, I'm going to be able to keep the rest of them at bay. Because this is a poke champion, this is a poke champion, this is a poke champion. These are the only two that are going to be able to lead off of whatever Kayn and off of whatever Tarek does if they're at range. And if Ahri wants to step in, the only way she's going to be able to do is to use Spirit Rush. She's not going to be able to step in the way that she still just tried here if I'm standing between him and her. Because I'm going to absorb the tenacity effect of it. And then, after I absorb that, I'm going to survive long enough for Kog'Maw to defend me. So, no matter what happens here, all they have to do is play to this composition here and allow ourselves to survive up and heal up with the effect of Janna. Now here, with their two key critical parts of the scene removed, we just slowly bleed them apart with the minions. This man gets a Quadra, he starts healing up, the game's over. And then after this, the jungler, Stoliominous, came and decided to join the Discord. I don't know what'll happen from that, but the entirety there of what happened in the mid-game was them following the plays of the Pyke. What happened before that and then after that situation in the mid-game was all led from the top side. Not a single death that game, ending at 16-0. This is what League of Legends is here. And in this season, with a bunch of characters and champions that want to abuse things like Shadow Flame and Axiomark, this is how you have to play the game. You are playing it smart, slow, stable, bleeding and taking every single bit that you can from them, and never giving them a fucking inch. If you give them an inch by overplaying your hand and trying to play ARAM, you're going to die. Period. There is no excuse for it. You don't have to make choices off of no vision. We don't play without information. Information is key, especially when you're Pyke. It doesn't make sense for you to try and go forward without having the opportunity to use that if you know that that is how that works. But, just another day, another dollar. It is your boy. I will see y'all soon. Etc., etc. Comment, like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Do you do. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.